So this phone sort of constantly rewards you. And something I believe, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, Mo, but I think in the future, every action we take, either on-chain or just in life, is going to be incentivized in some way. I don't want an iPhone 27006 Pro Max. And that's one of the cool things with this hardware wallet is you can just use biometrics. So yeah, if I get kidnapped, they're going to have to cut off one of these fingers. I won't tell you which one.
What really attracted me with this new token is that...
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Don't Get Rekt. I'm Al, joined by Mo. How we doing, Mo?
Not too bad. The market is still not looking great, but we are doing great because we have some great alphas that we've been testing, and we can't wait to share it with you. So today, Al, I want to keep this kind of Solana exclusive. So I'm looking at the charts, and my coin gecko tells me that a new token called Seeker has exploded. It's launched like a week ago and it's up by around 300%, which is insane. It was airdrop, so most airdrop tokens tend to drop or like even die out after 2 or 3 days of trading, but it hasn't. So Al, what do you know about Seeker?
Well, I mean, I happen to have one, which helps, right? So hardware and software and crypto tokens, cryptocurrencies, they're finally coming together, right? And we've seen a couple of people try hardware before. I think Ethereum's doing the degen phone and things like that, but they're so late to the game. This is actually Solana's second Web3 native mobile phone, right? The first one was called the Saga. They've just ended support for it. This new one is called the Seeker, and it's very, very cool. So I'm excited to show everybody that today. But let's just start by being very clear what the two Seekers are. One is a Web3 native smartphone and it's a hardware wallet. And really something I never hear anyone talk about. This thing is a node. It's not just a wallet, right? It's a node. It's going to mine for you. It's going to work hard for you. It's going to generate crypto rewards for you. So it's a couple of things. It's a smartphone, it's a node, and it's a hardware wallet. That is the Seeker phone. It was originally called the Solana Chapter 2 phone. That was just a placeholder name. I assume Seeker is now its official name. And yes, from a period of about November to now, the Seeker season has been underway. The first tranche of Seeker season saw people like me who pre-ordered the phone and used it a lot. It was tracking activity in terms of which dApps we're using, how many on-chain transactions we're pushing, whether we're engaging with the community. And it rewarded people with a significant airdrop of the Seeker token. Yeah, absolutely. So the second part is the Seeker token, which is going to power the sort of Web3 mobile community on Solana. Now, I'm not a developer. I didn't create an app, so I didn't get 750K tokens, sadly. That would have been a very nice payday. But I got the Vanguard drop, which was 40,000 tokens, which is just using this as my smartphone, right? No crazy farming, no going nuts. Still got 40,000 tokens, which very quickly covered the price of the phone and then very quickly pushed the phone into profit. And that's just from the Seeker token itself. Now, something we've seen that's really cool that they've just announced, there's actually two things. One is if you do any swaps of the Seeker token on Jupiter, you become eligible for a prize draw to win a Seeker phone. And the other is, in an excellent example of new token utility, if you go to the Solana mobile store, you can buy one of these using the Seeker token at a pretty much 50% discount. So you can spend about $250 worth of Seeker tokens and get a $450 or $500 phone. So I think we're going to see a lot of people ordering and using these phones, which is very exciting. So before I get into it, I appreciate not everyone is super familiar with hardware in Web3, right? Like probably you've got a ledger, Mo. I've got some ledgers lying around. Have you got any Web3 hardware?
Well, I used to have a ledger. I'm not going to talk about my personal hardware because crypto kidnapping is big right now.
Okay,
So I'm not.
that's fair.
But no, I do kind of see the point of hardware wallets, but phones. Talk me through this. If I understand this correctly, I remember the Solana saga, which was the first smartphone from any crypto company or any major Web3 project like Solana.
Yeah.
And it didn't do quite well because if I remember the stats correctly, it sold around 20,000 units.
Yeah.
But the Seeker phone that just came out, it had like 150K on pre-order
150K.
alone.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a major jump here, and you are one of the ones who pre-order it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you definitely know the appeal of this phone. So tell me,
I had a cheeky referral code from a friend, so I thought I'll do this. So basically, what happens is the problem with the Saga is it was an older phone. It wasn't particularly good. Didn't have a great deal of support. This phone needs to work with your like Google Play Store as well as the Solana dApp Store and stuff like that. So this new one, it's a pretty good smartphone. Like I would call it like a middle grade smartphone that was affordable. I don't want an iPhone 27006 Pro Max. I don't need a 400 megapixel camera. Although I must say the camera on the Seeker is pretty good. But basically, what happens is when you pre-order this thing, and I've got a case on it that I'll explain in a minute. But when you pre-order it, you set your Solana wallet because you order it through Solana, right? So you can buy it with Sol or stablecoins. It's going to send you an SBT, a soul-bound token, which is essentially a non-transferable NFT. That's called the Seeker Genesis token. I wonder if I can get it up to show you guys what it looks like in my wallet because it's pretty cool. Okay, so here's the chapter 2 pre-order token. You see that there? Got too many lights going on. That was the pre-order token that then becomes the Seeker Genesis token. And now this is your sort of gateway to rewards and the ecosystem. So you get your phone, you activate your Genesis token, then that turns on your seed vault, which is the name of the integrated Solana wallet. So you can get a Seeker ID. Mine is ghoststorywriter.seeker. And basically what it will do is any Solana dApp that you interact with, it's going to be able to check for that SBT and be like, oh, I can see he's got a Seeker Genesis token, immediately double his rewards or triple his rewards or airdrop him some coins. So that's really, really cool. The wallet has NFT support natively, which is quite good. Some wallets still don't have that, like Jupiter is in a beta version of that. You can stake natively within the wallet. So one of the things I did was I'm going to stake some Sol with the Solana mobile validator just to give those guys some support. This phone makes that very easy for you. And then what you can also do is I had a Phantom already before this Seeker wallet. And so you can literally just import that wallet as well. You can swap between them using your fingerprint. And that's one of the cool things with this hardware wallet is you can just use biometrics. So yeah, if I get kidnapped, they're going to have to cut off one of these fingers. I won't tell you which one. But listen, I'm not here to shill it, right? I'm not being paid to talk about how great it is. I've just found it to be a really good experience because I needed a new smartphone anyway. I had a Xperia PlayStation phone that was getting a bit old. And I thought, why not? Why not APIN? The Saga phone got a big airdrop of bonk tokens. I figured the airdrop for this one would be big, and indeed it was. And it would be crazy to only talk about the Seeker token itself, because there's also a whole ecosystem of stuff that I'll talk about on this thing. A good example of which is this case. This is the Solid case. Solid is spelled SOLYD. They did some really cool stuff, like the first Solana transaction in space using a satellite, I believe. They've got lots of cool collabs with artwork for it. And again, that will deploy an SBT that says if you hold this SBT, you're eligible for more rewards. So this phone sort of constantly rewards you. And something I believe, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, Mo, but I think in the future, every action we take, either on chain or just in life, is going to be incentivized in some way, right? Like we know that people are paying for our attention and our data online. We know that coffee shops say, hey, come in for a free bagel or a free coffee, free croissant, right? Everything's incentivized. Whereas this will get you rewards on chain. So if you're a Solana maxi, which frankly is pretty hard not to be these days, this thing is going to give back, and getting one for $250 is nuts. I mean, I paid $450 for mine, and I still see that as very worthwhile. I'm tempted to get two more and just give them to some mates, right? But yeah, I mean, I've really liked it. It's there's so much to talk about. It's sort of hard to know where to start. But a good example would be we've talked about the grass airdrop before, right? On Don't Get Rekt. Here it is, running a grass node for me right now. You can see it's backwards, but you can see it's earning points for me all the time. I've got an UpRock node on here. It's earning UpRock every hour. This phone's constantly at work making crypto for me, which I think is nuts, and I love it. And frankly, I don't see any other blockchain apart from maybe Monad's current momentum season. I don't see any other blockchain working as hard to give back to its users right now. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I think it's tremendous. You know, and imagine the experience before where you're using your phone's browser and you want to connect wallet and it has to open MetaMask, and MetaMask needs an update, and that takes ages because you're not on Wi-Fi, and then it doesn't bloody work, and it's just a nightmare. This, you say connect wallet, it says which one, you say that one, you touch your finger, you're done. You know, so you can claim airdrops on this thing when you're on the tube. You know, it's awesome. So I really like it. Have I sold it to you? Are you going to get one?
Well, look, you sold me on the airdrop part, because look, I think regardless of how the Seeker phone ages, I think the number one problem for crypto and DeFi as a whole over the years has been that it wasn't accessible. You know, there's too many complexities. If someone doesn't know the nitty-gritties, they wouldn't be able to get into the whole ecosystem, you know, become a degen, I would say. Yeah. But I think the Seeker phone, what it does is it makes it so much accessible. Like majority of the airdrops happen on Solana. That's just a fact, because it's easy to launch projects, that the transactions are, you know, much more efficient. So when you're farming a lot of airdrops, and the phone makes it easy for you to access those airdrops, farm those airdrops on the go, like we are talking right now, we are working right now, and you showed me that you're farming the grass airdrop in the background. So that's just insane, man. That's like your phone doing your work for you in a crypto world. That is the future. Either it happens on the Seeker phone or the next Solana phone, or the next, I don't know, next Ethereum phone, next any other chain phone. But that's the concept itself. It is the future, I think, and that's really important. Now, I do want to talk about staking SKR a bit, because what really attracted me with this new token is that they are promising, as of now, when we're recording, they're promising around 23% APY, which is a lot, but it is variable. So if I understand this correctly, the Seeker coin, it has an inflationary model where, you know, tokens, of course, gets released at a certain period of time. I think 10% at a certain period of time. So what you can do is basically, in a simple terms, if you own the phone, or if you don't own the phone, you can buy SKR token and keep it locked up to automatically earn, you know, API in returns, and you can unlock it anytime. It just has a 48 hour cooling period.
That's right.
And right now, and right now you get 23%, but as more tokens are released, the more supply gets increased, your API gets reduced. So I think that the kind of outcome is that early stakers will enjoy the largest returns, where late stakers their returns will shrink over time. We did write a whole review guide on how this staking model for Seeker works, whether it's sustainable and whether you should get into it and how you should get into it. So we have a full guide. Go and read that. But Al, you are an early staker, I believe, and
That's
do you
right.
want to share anything else for this alpha before we log
Yeah.
off?
So you can see this is inside the wallet. You got some of my NFTs there. That's a Doopy and a Gigabud. And then below that, you can see Stake Sol and Stake Seeker. So I staked my whole airdrop TGE because I wanted to take advantage of the 25% APY. Now, yes, you're correct. That APY is lowering and has already lowered to 23%. But what people need to think about and understand is I staked 40,000 tokens and I've now in my balance got 40,171 tokens. So your rewards are emitting every 48 hours, which is the same as the unstaking epoch. The longer you leave it in there, the more you're going to get. But it compounds. So my new rewards will be based on 40,171 tokens, not the original 40,000, right? And that's an important distinction to make because sometimes staking rewards don't compound and sometimes you have to claim them manually, which is going to incur a transaction fee and put it straight into your wallet. Whereas this is just going to grow for me. So I'm actually thinking about putting more in because of course I am. So I've watched my sort of value of my tokens go from 500 to 2,000 back to 1,000. It's going to stabilize. It's going to figure itself out. That APY is going to come down from 23% all the way down to about 10% in a couple of years. But at the moment, you're correct. Anyone can go and buy this and stake it on their mobile. Naturally, a great place to do that would be on the Solana mobile. Now, as Solana's secondary token, there is a lot of skin in the game from Anatoly and the team and the foundation and the Ventures Labs. What you'll see if you go on Twitter, and I'll share some examples, is Seeker season has just entered season 2. So although the airdrop we just had received 20% of the token supply, 10% of that token supply is reserved for this future season. Now, if we think about the fact that the coin value's gone up the way it has, that 10% of the supply is now worth the same amount as the 20% of the supply before, if that makes sense. So in terms of millions of dollars that Solana is going to deploy to its users, roughly equatable. So what you can do is just go and look at the different apps running Seeker season rewards. One of my favorites is called Loot Go, this fun little sort of Pokemon Go style game where you run around collecting loot boxes. That's great because it gives Seeker holders a boost in points on Solana, and then it mints rewards and NFTs on Monad. So you're actually qualifying for 2 airdrops at once because it's a Solana decentralized dApp building your Seeker season 2 score, and it's qualifying you for airdrops on Monad. So, when we talk about whether this is a degen play or not, it's an infrastructure play because I'm engaging with the Solana ecosystem on Solana hardware and engaging with Monad. So we're doing the whole Web3 thing, actually. I suspect, there might be future cross-compatibility for the Seeker, right? That's possible. That's not confirmed, but that's possible as we might see, hey, it's now on Monad. It's now on Ethereum. Just to access the liquidity on those chains. But by launching a lower fully diluted value market cap, what Seeker's done is it's created an almost up-only trajectory. So like you said, Mo, instead of TGE and airdrop and massive sell dump, this should actually grind upwards over time, in my opinion. And considering current Solana price, just shy of $125, just shy of half its all-time high. If we do see a significant bull run in the future, Solana is positioned to do very well. And Seeker right now represents an opportunity to get the secondary token at 2 or 3 cents and to earn it, to stake it and earn rewards. So that's the alpha. You know, you get a phone, you get a node, you get a hardware wallet, you get access, like you said, to something that's still so early. I mean, the TGE was not very long ago at all. Solana season is blowing up. We've got Jupuary, we've got Moonbirds, we've got a bunch of projects launching constantly on Solana, and I think it's really, really, really exciting. So the opportunity to go and get one for $250 is nuts, and we could all take advantage of that.
Absolutely. So look, we can talk about Solana for all day. I know, Al, you enjoy it, but yeah, that's the alpha. Of course, you know, do your own research. It's still a smartphone. It's a Web3 native smartphone. So yeah, you know, look at the specs. You know, if you think you're gonna, you wanna, you know, farm airdrops all day, you wanna make your phone do the hard work for you while you're, you know, focus on something else, and you know, get into a lot of pre-sale projects, early TGAs, then definitely is one of the hardwares to look into. But as with everything, you should do your own research. You should be cautious because early stage projects in terms of price moves can be risky. But do consider our alpha and our recommendations so you don't get wrecked. So this was me, Mo, and this was Al. This is the 3rd episode of Don't Get Rekt. See you on the next one.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.